Welcome to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. These are casual chats with visiting artists. Creaky barn, bugs, and all. Enjoy. Hey, welcome to Conversations from the Barn. This is Bill. I'm here with Chris and Warren, and I'm going to let our two special guests this week introduce themselves.
My name's Brianna Matzke, and I'm a pianist from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Nichole Roller, Nichole Gronvold Roller for the full name. I'm an artist, a painter, and an art educator.
Welcome to both of you. How was your week? Can you, I know that's a lot to kind of...
Yeah.
This week has been really beautiful. Yeah, it's been, the first word that comes to mind actually is quiet. And for me as a musician to have this quiet week is such a gift, actually. To be able to sit in this silence and the peacefulness and then put my music onto that canvas has been really wonderful.
I think for me, like, it surprisingly went fast, even though it was a very slow pace. I normally work in a very chaotic environment, and so I came to the space with multiple pieces to work on because that's just how my process works, of letting things dry and then taking a pause. So I had like 5 pieces that I was going to work on, and found like this very different rhythm of my daily practice here that I don't know if I would find in my typical environment. So that was my newness in this space.
How was it different?
Well, I woke up, had coffee, and pretty much started working right away, and then took a break to just get ready for the day, and then worked pretty hard, and then took a break to eat, and then I would always go for a walk on the trails, and then come back and work, and then pack things up for the evening, and then I did the whole thing over again. But it was dipping into multiple pieces and then arranging throughout the different spaces. I found it interesting that I came here for the exterior, the environment, and I started going closer to the indoor spaces, and that's what really inspired me. I think today I didn't work outside at all. So just looking at the artwork and the rugs and then the wallpaper inside of the house.
I love that you saw that.
Yes, I was just like, oh my goodness, that's wonderful. So yeah, I just, it was really a soft practice. A really soft practice.
You two did not know each other before this week, is that right?
No, not at all.
No.
We followed each other on Instagram when we knew we were going to be rooming together. But yeah, total strangers walking in.
What is that like, that evil Knievel jump? I'm going to drive 10, 12 hours for a week.
Actually, as a musician, it's, going to live and work next to someone you don't know is a pretty common thing for us to do in the summer. Classical musicians, the rhythm is to go to festivals, travel to Europe, whatever it might be, and play music with the new people that you meet when you get there. And so this fits right in with that kind of rhythm. What was new and different about it is that it was living and working with someone who's not a musician, actually. And I was really looking forward to the kind of conversations that would come out of working in different art forms. And it's definitely been really awesome to be able to chat about that kind of stuff. I haven't even said this to you, but I really love when you make comments about things that inspire you visually in the house, because those are little details that I would never take the time to stop and notice and think about and be inspired by. And so your eye for those kinds of things has really fed me going through this week too.
Thank you. Well, I think we had like this mutual respect coming in of being mindful of each other's time. And I know I was a little bit, because unless I go to a residency, I'm not working with other artists. It's pretty much for me a solo endeavor. And I didn't know how that would work between you and I. I was really nervous about like infringing on your space, like where would you like to work? Where could I work? I know when Warren introduced us to even the house, or first it was myself, I said, do you think it's okay if I take the painting studio? And you're like, yeah, you're the painter. But I think like we really got again into this like rhythm of, oh, you're gonna go work outside, or if you went for a walk, you let me know, or for a run. And then, we just had like this really nice passing of time with each other, and then talk with each other, and then kind of went our way. Yeah. It was nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what is the painting studio? I'm going to say it's the office on the main
Yes.
floor.
On the first floor,
Yes,
maybe?
Okay.
That's the painting studio.
Okay.
Yeah, that became my space for working. Like first it was kind of on the porch area,
Yeah.
and then it started moving inside.
And what drew you inside?
I would say the design, the chosen pieces inside the house. Again, like the colors of even the bedding and the artwork and the rugs. I love the rugs. And the different rooms that had this curation of colors. And even the books are categorized.
They are.
And so, like, I would think through, like, there looked like some kind of structured chaos that I would want to find out about what does this mean or who lives here. And I guess that's been a basis of my artwork for so long, about livable spaces and how people live without knowing them, per se, and giving my own response to what I imagine as if I'm the narrator of a space. So there was a lot of curiosity in going through different things and filling in a story.
We lived there for probably the first almost decade that we were here. When one of our board members, who was a dear friend for decades of ours, before Everwood was even Everwood, he was here, and he said, I want you to design that place like there isn't an interior designer within 500 miles of here. He said, that's my advice. And we kind of took that to heart in a way, and like how because everything was one piece came, and then 3 months later we would get this, and then 3 months later we would get this, and it was a really slow.
And then something would happen, and then someone would gift, and then something.
Yeah.
It is a place that it is curated.
Yes.
But it is evidence of life.
Mm-hmm.
It is evidence of story of the people that have been there, and I think it means a lot to both of us to have someone have eye on that. It's like, oh, I see it. it.
Well, I truly did not believe that the artwork happened, but I know you put it together. Like I thought someone went out and sought the artwork versus it fell into place here, and then you moved it about within that. I didn't. Warren told me first, and then I was like, "No." I think I even told you that.
I go,
"There's
no way, no way.
I don't think so."
We did make choices.
Yes, but it all seems like it belongs there.
There is when we were benchmarking an artist retreat for 2 years, we were interviewing other retreats around the country, and one of our big concerns is, how do you create community in a solo space? Because most of the places, like Yaddo, they have a huge community. You may work on your own, but then you're all at a table.
For meals.
At the end of the day, and those sorts of things. And we're like, all right, this could feel really isolating. And there were some interesting conversations about the artists leaving their books and their music and their artwork behind for the other artists. That's the muse in the walls. This happened here. I was here. I'm not here, but I'm with you while you're here. And we realized at the time we were ready to launch the retreat that had been happening all along. That the people that had been performing here and working here and we'd been offering just like space for here had been leaving these gifts of art and music and writing and books, and it was already here. And that becomes the muse that supports you in your work. That there's a community here that has been thinking about you long before you arrived, and each of you are planting your seeds, not only in the house but in the barn. What's swirling in the barn from the music you made this week. There's something powerful beyond. We work hard to curate that, but it's beyond us now.
Yeah.
And it's in the words too in the book, the remarks.
Yeah, the Book of Days.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some artists that will come and they'll be like, I stayed up till 2 a.m. my first night reading that book because they wanted to just absorb everything.
Yeah.
And then they're writing backwards to previous artists and writing forwards to new artists.
I didn't notice that part.
I didn't think about that as a possibility. All week I've been thinking about what in the world am I going to put in the book.
She really has.
I'm not really great with words in the way that some of these people are, and I don't think I even brought a pencil with me.
I have one.
Like if I was going to share anything, it would be to sit down at the piano and play my gratitude. You know what I mean? So I'm still a little stuck, but I like this idea of writing backwards to the people who.
Yeah. Leave a message.
Yeah, right.
People who have been before, and maybe leave a message. That book is for the artists that are coming next week.
Yeah.
And the week after, next year.
Right.
How might you support them?
Yeah.
And it could be as simple as, I left you a song in the rafters of the barn. Go listen.
I did do that.
So you had 7 fans this week, I understand, to your music.
Yes, the goats apparently enjoy listening to pounding on the piano.
Because every day they would.
Yeah, for some reason they come right up to those sliding doors by the piano. I wasn't sure if there were just tastier branches right there or something, but you guys seem to think that
it's the music.
They're drawn to the music.
It was the tastier branches of the music.
Tasty notes.
Speaking of spaces, how was this space for you? This piano for you?
Oh, it was great. It was so great. So, you told me the story of how this piano got here. I assume your podcast listeners have heard this story before.
Yeah.
And
you got to meet Amanda this week.
Yeah, I got to meet Amanda, the piano technician, this week. This piano is the kind of piano, it's old enough and it's small enough that if it's not loved, it really can kind of like degrade into not as nice of a sound. But it has been a loved instrument for its whole life. And it's living in a space where it continues to be loved. And so the sound, it's just perfect for this barn. It's so beautiful in here. It really is so beautiful. You know what overtones are? The overtones sing in this space. I was recording myself practicing a little bit, and it just resonates. You can hear more than just the fundamental note that's being played on the piano key. You can hear the other harmonics resonating with it. It just kind of shimmers in here. So I was really, really enjoying making music in this barn. It's very beautiful.
What's kind of magical is there's 2 soundboards. There's the soundboard of the piano and there's the soundboard of the barn. Right?
Yeah. Right, exactly. I didn't know what you meant at first. 2 soundboards. I've never heard of a piano with 2 soundboards. But yes, that's right. The barn resonates, and then even beyond that, the what is it called? The weather vane or whatever on top of the silo.
How was that?
It freaked me out pretty bad because it creaks in the wind. And the first day, it wasn't really windy at all, so I didn't notice it. But then the second day, I started hearing, I thought it was somebody singing in the lower level of the barn where the cows used to live, right? I was like, there's somebody singing down there. I was convinced. And then I remembered somebody had mentioned ghosts, so I thought, oh, maybe it's haunted, and maybe I'm hearing a ghost singing down there. But then I did a lap around, and I realized what it actually was. But it does sound like somebody singing when it blows in the wind like that.
What are you
That's
hearing?
probably now the
Glenwood?
3rd or 4th time we've had a reference to.
Right. And not only that, but now there's an owl living in the silo, and so you walk up to the base of the silo where the PVC pipe is cut off down there, and you put your ear up to the PVC pipe, and it goes.
Yeah.
It's
There's
so
an
strange.
owl in the silo now?
Yes.
That's news to me. There we go.
We've had 3 or 4 artists this year say they have heard singing in the basement to what they're making in the barn.
Oh.
To the point they did the same thing that you did, that they're like, oh, Chris and Bill are down there, or Warren's down there, and they've walked around the barn
Yeah.
to try to find it.
It's kind of uncanny, the sound, yeah. I don't hear it today, to be honest with you.
That's because I'm here.
Yeah.
Nichole, you are a teacher.
Yes.
A high school teacher.
Correct.
Art in high school today. Talk about
I should probably complain, but really I love it. I have a really good group of students. We just came back from a Europe trip this summer. I normally host them every other summer. And again, it's a small community, so I'm on my 2nd generation now of students. Yeah.
No kidding.
I could even get to maybe my 3rd. I don't know. It depends on how long I'll teach. But so, I know pretty much all the students coming in some way. And it's a good setup. And I enjoy the people that I work with. I mean, I know this probably sounds fake, but it's really true. This summer has been a really fulfilling summer. So sometimes I'll go back to the school year and think, oh, I'm not ready to go back. But I kind of miss them. So I'm really ready to get back, and I have, new ideas. I think that's what summers are for, is to get some new ideas. But yeah, I teach ceramics, painting, drawing, and mixed media. And we're on a block system, so I see students every other day. We get a studio time of an hour and a half, which is pretty unheard of. I really highly recommend that if schools can afford it. It just gives more time for, introducing something, studio time, break, and then also students working together. But
What's fulfilling you the most with the kids? And
I would say the relationships. I think people, obviously, and I sound old, but there's this idea of kids these days, and they're really pretty amazing. Sometimes they go to work and I think, I can't believe they're paying me to do this. So
that's so good to hear.
It is, and we've kind of discussed this too. I'm just really fortunate. My kids grew up. I have a daughter who's in middle school who will be in high school, but I have 2 sons that went to Tremont and graduated from there, and so my family grew up there. I'm actually from Minnesota, Thief River Falls, Moorhead, Minnesota, and then moved to Illinois when I started teaching, and I've been at the same school for over 26 years. But I also work in the classroom. I have this really strong artist-teacher philosophy of being a creative individual amongst my students. So I will work and have things throughout the room that I might be, and that's that chaos where maybe I work on a little bit and then, help someone or do this or that. And then it's always, going back and forth to different things. And I seem to thrive in that environment. I was a little worried.
Sounds like your process here.
Yeah, I guess it kind of is in a way, but without people.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. So maybe I didn't
It's your way.
change too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I do enjoy it. Yeah.
And Brianna, you teach where? What level?
I teach in 2 different contexts. So first is I am faculty at a very small liberal arts college outside of Cincinnati. And then I also teach private piano lessons in my home to school-age children. Yeah. And I'm grateful for both contexts because it definitely draws on an entirely different set of talents in the 2 different teaching contexts. But I think if I'm being totally honest, my favorite thing to do is teach the private lessons. There's another thing that you and I talked about.
Yeah, we've talked about
It's such a privilege to teach private piano lessons to these kids because they come to me when they're 6, 7, 8 years old, and I see them for half an hour or an hour every single week for their entire childhood. And then I get to say goodbye to them when they're 17 or 18, and I've seen them transform, and come into their own, and it's just, I feel so lucky to see these young people turn into these amazing individuals, and then to send them out into the world knowing that they're going to go do great, amazing things. Yeah, you said earlier that the most rewarding part of teaching is the relationships, and that's absolutely the case. Yeah.
There's a sense of legacy in that too.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Do you reward with stickers?
Yes, I do.
What is the recognition these days? Is it still stickers?
Stickers are still very popular.
Yeah.
Yes, stickers.
And how do you know this, Phil?
So 20 years ago, when Chris Everett and I started dating, he gave me piano lessons.
Oh.
No way.
I mean, we started to date, and then he gave me.
Oh, okay.
It's not
I
like
was
we
like,
started
ooh.
dating and one of the students. I wanted him to teach because I always wanted to learn piano.
Sure.
And so in our very first months of dating, I would maybe do a lesson for 15 minutes. And if I perfected a song, he would give me a little Wonder Woman sticker, and I could put it on my book. And
It works, right? It's very,
Totally.
yes.
They love
Absolutely.
What you won't do for a sticker.
Yeah, it seems so silly. It really seems like a silly thing,
Yeah.
but it is very gratifying to go.
Boom.
Boom.
I nailed that song.
I got that.
And the best part with Bill Underwood was how proud he was when he would master the Clown in the Glen, or
Yeah.
whatever the song was,
Yes,
that he got the sticker, and he would record himself and send it to all of his friends. Here's my performance.
Yeah.
That's great. I have to force
With
some
my
of my
work
students
colleagues,
to do
like I
that.
would.
Yeah, right.
They would wake up, they would come to work the next day, and their first voicemail would be me. Chris Everett would introduce me, and then I would play 13 keys. And,
The Clown in the Glen.
but yeah, I don't even know what that means. But, and then he would clap, and then I would hang up, and that's how people started their work day. Anyways, enough about that.
Was he a good student?
He was a good student.
That's good.
It is. We talked about this with kids. I mean, it's challenging with close, intimate relationships
Yeah.
to be teacher-student.
Yeah.
It's a very particular kind of dynamic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There has to be a certain kind of, there is a power dynamic to it in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has to be navigated carefully. Sounds like you guys did just fine, though.
Yeah. When he ran out of stickers,
Yeah.
that was sort of the end of it. We moved on.
Lost interest.
I kind of lost interest. Yeah. Let's do a little rap, Chris Everett.
Do it.
Your favorite question.
Do it.
Me, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
How have you experienced beauty today? Whoever wants to go first.
That's such a great question. I need to think to answer it properly.
And the beauty is, Chris Everett can edit all of this dead space.
I can go ahead.
Wonderful.
I think Well, I had. Can it be a story?
Yes, please.
I did have a sense of sadness today, just reflecting upon the experience and going for a walk on the trails. And it wasn't like sadness, it was like gratitude, appreciation, like there's good people out there. We'll probably never see each other again, but I will always remember all of you. I'm eager to get home to see my family, but everything gets appreciated differently when you go away and experience things, and then when you go home. But packing up today, I started packing up today, and it was for me, a beautiful reflection moment of thinking of unpacking and then packing up, like, okay, it's time to go. But I'm going to bring this with me. Like, it's not going to be forgotten. So that was my moment, I think, of beauty.
I love it. Is there anything you want to bring back with you from a process perspective? You were talking about how different this was from maybe the chaos that you're used to.
I think, again, it's that reflection, that time I'm always thinking about slowing down, but it's about thinking about it and not necessarily doing it. And Brianna and I have talked about like possibilities, that everything is available to us, and I think mostly taking away, like, again, kindness when there's so much other things happening, that there's a lot of good things out there. A lot. I don't know if I answered that.
You did.
Is it hard as a mother for you? I know it sounds like
It
maybe
always
two of your
is
children
hard.
are out of, or
Yes.
maybe out of the house, but you
Yes.
still have your daughter in the house.
And then my son, Isaac, is home for the summer. And then my son, Logan, I spoke about, I haven't seen him much at all this summer because he is doing an internship and hasn't been home, and so he's coming home soon. There's guilt involved in being away from family. And my husband is, home, and I always think, they deserve that time too. They deserve that time together in different dynamics. And I've actually been reading Anne Truitt, her day book, while I was here, and they talked about Yaddo and her being a mother and her process of going to different residencies, and then that, going back home and having, the laundry and the children, but also giving that autonomy to your own children. Like, you can love and be with people, but you can also be yourself. And that's not such a bad thing. You can obviously give back to others more when you are fulfilled too. And they can give to others, but they can also give to themselves. So I hope I can teach that to them.
The luxury of being here for me has been that I get to practice what I want to, play the music that I want to at the piano instead of the music that needs practicing. It really has been a decade or longer since that I've been able to do that, and really like luxuriate in just practicing music that I enjoy with no goal or purpose to it. So one of the things that I did today was I pulled out a piece of music that I learned my first year of graduate school, and that was a decade and a half ago when I first learned this piece of music, and I really haven't played it much since then. And I pulled it out and I was practicing, and I could feel in the notes and in my hands, I could feel myself from 15 years ago, and I could feel how much I've grown in that amount of time. And I had enough time and space here to like really sort of have a conversation with my past self. And and also enjoy what it is I'm able to do at the instrument now, and really make some beautiful things that I was really proud of happen today. So that would be my answer about experiencing beauty today.
Lovely. Thank you both
Thank you.
for taking the time for this
Thank you.
conversation.
Yeah, thank you for everything.
Yes.
Such a treat to have you both here for the week.
We've loved having your energy in the barn, in the house, on the property. Seeing this place through both of your eyes has been kind of extraordinary.
Thank you.
We hope you'll stay in touch, would you?
Of course.
For sure.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. Our theme music is provided by John Mark Nelson. Wishing you all good health.